So there is a time to go long, there is a time to go short, and also a time to go fishing. And looking at this current Bitcoin price action, it does looks like it is better if we go for fishing, because you can see the market right now is very volatile, and also the price of Bitcoin is following this bearish scenario which we talked on our previous videos. Yes, because we were expecting the price of Bitcoin to continue this downtrend, because we got rejected exactly at this 0.52 0.618 Fibonacci line, and I showed you with this dead cat bounce trading pattern getting rejection around this 0.5 Fibonacci line, or the 50% retracement could lead to a potential continuation here to the downside. And if you look at this current Bitcoin price action, you can see the price of Bitcoin did pretty much exactly like how we predicted. So we know things are not looking that good, but will the price here in the medium short term also hold this key line of support around 23,000? Because we know losing this support around 23,000 means there could be another continuation here like this. Yes guys, things are looking bad for Bitcoin, but let's not forget that this 23,000 for now is a line of support, because yesterday, if you have watched my video, I showed you with this descending channel. In the past price action inside the descending channel, whenever we have lost a key line of support, what has unfolded after that? The price after that has started this corrective movement, because we found out every time when the price tested the support from this descending channel, we had a very nice rally here to the upside. We came at the top of the channel but got rejected, and rejection around this trend line means the price is going to show corrective movement. But since we were also following the support from this rising trend line inside the descending channel, you can see we had a relief rally. But once this relief rally failed, once the price got rejected again to re-enter above this rising trend line, what happened? A bigger retracement. And this is exactly what we also talked on my yesterday's video. I showed you with this example here, and now if you look at this, you can see it did play it out perfectly, because we found out the price of Bitcoin, after finding support at this lower trend line, started showing this impulsiveness. This impulsiveness also ended after reaching the top of this descending channel. What happened after that? After that, the price of Bitcoin started showing this weakness, and also was holding its line around this rising trend line. Yes, this rising trend line was holding the price, and yesterday I showed you this exact line which acted as a support could be rejecting the price, and it did happen. You can see the price of Bitcoin tried to break above this line, we failed, and after that you can see a free fall type of scenario where the price came exactly at this target area. And now, since the price of Bitcoin is showing range bound, should we expect another impulsive movement like this? Because in the past price action, we have found out whenever the price of Bitcoin has found support at this lower line area, after that we have seen a movement towards the top of this channel. So is it going to happen in our case as well? So before I start showing this interesting movement, please destroy that like button if you haven't done it yet, and for those individuals watching for the first time, hit that subscribe button and the bell, because you know video like this takes a lot of time, takes a lot of energy guys, and I'm doing it in a daily basis. So definitely a like and a comment would give me a lot of motivation. And now if you look at this price movement here, and also look at this price movement whenever we tested the support from this lower trend line, there is a difference this time, because when we found support at this lower trend line, you can see we had an impulsive movement, some retracement before again turning bullish. And here, after finding support at this lower trend line, right, just like this one here, you can see the price of Bitcoin started showing this impulsiveness, even a retracement before turning bullish. But in our case, after finding support at this lower trend line here, you can see we did started showing some bullishness. We even had some corrective movement, but this has failed. I mean, the price of Bitcoin has failed to show this impulsive movement, because in the past price action, the price continued this uptrend when we had this small retracement, and that gave us a confidence that the market could be heading towards this top of the channel. So in our case, it is looking very weak, because we did have this movement here to the upside, even the corrective movement, but the price has failed to continue this uptrend. So in medium short term, what we are expecting the price of Bitcoin to do is to show some range bound. Yes, I am actually expecting the price of Bitcoin to show some range bound here like this, guys, following this descending channel type of formation, even a small breakout type of movement right here like this, but at the end again testing the support around 23,000 and even lower than that. Why? Because if you look at this price structure here in a bit different way, we are exactly at the support from this rising wedge, support from this crypto Anup buy sell indicator, because yesterday on my video I showed you there was a bearish divergence here in RSI. I was warning you guys, in the medium short term there could be a retracement towards 23,000 to 23,300 range, and if the price fails to hold that support line, that will trigger another sell-off, and in that case this sell-off could bring the price of Bitcoin around this CPI line, the top, central and the bottom CPI line between 20,000 to 22,000 range. And now since the price is fighting to remain above this lower trend line, you can see, and also this crypto buy sell indicator is holding the price, but if it fails, I mean if the price fails to hold this 23,000, then we have to be careful, because that will result in another pullback here like this between 20,000 to 22,000 before price chooses a trend direction. Because it's not just only the RSI, but also if you look at the stochastic RSI, this is a bearish crossover. You can see bearish crossover in stochastic RSI has resulted in some retracement before price has started showing bullishness. So in our case, since this here is also a bearish stochastic RSI, right? So what we want the price of Bitcoin to do right now is to hold the line around 23,000, because failing to hold that support means the price could be getting attracted towards this CPR indicator, because we know this CPI indicator, as long as we remain above this three line, the top, central and the bottom CPI line, we are still expecting the bulls to fight for the uptrend. Only after breaking the support from the CPI line we know we are in danger. But for now, even though this is a retracement after almost like around 60% impulsive movement from the bottom, you can see if you take this measurement from the low till the top, you can see the price of Bitcoin showed this impulsiveness almost like around 62%, and now this retracement here is about 9 to 10%. So it is normal, even if this is going to continue lower, I mean around 22,000 to 20,000 range, you can see that will be around 15% retracement. So we know that is not the worst case for now, but if we lose the support around that area, then that is going to trigger a big warning sign, because we know, guys, in that case, right, in that case the price of Bitcoin could be following this Wyckoff distribution schematic, and according to this Wyckoff distribution schematic, getting rejection around this key line of resistance means the price could be following towards this area of confluence here to the downside, because we are finding ourselves in this phase E, and according to the Wyckoff, if you look at this in phase E, there will be a relief rally, but at the end the price is going to follow the original trend direction. And not just only this, even the psychology of market cycle will play out perfectly, because I showed you after this falling wedge breakout, the price objective was always the top of this falling wedge, where we form double top, just like as shown in an example. And in an example, you can see after forming a double top, price failing to continue this uptrend will result in another retracement towards to form a new lower low. And also what we need to understand, let me show you here one more time. For now, guys, you can see the price of Bitcoin looks like it is forming this free fall, right? But if you take this Fibonacci line from this low till this high, this is in a daily time frame, you can see the price has broken the support from this 0.5 Fibonacci line, but this 0.618 support is still there. So that means if the price manages to hold support between this range, then there could be a small relief rally type of scenario what we are expecting. But if we fail, I mean if the price fails to hold this line, that means we could be getting attracted towards the next support line here to the downside. Yes, guys, in that case the 0.786 Fibonacci line is going to be looked as our next potential upcoming target, which is around 22,200 to 22,300 range. Yes, this is very important because the price in our case is also forming this ascending channel. Ascending channel is looked as a bearish scenario once we lose the support from this lower trend line, and in our case this exact area is where we could be heading if we lose the support around 23,000 in the medium short term, because we know, we have also said, hey, let's not panic, because if there is going to be any sort of a retracement, price still holding about 23,000, that means we could be also forming this inverted head and shoulder type of scenario, because we had this left shoulder, we had this head, but we needed the right shoulder. So if this remains about 23,000 and price also after that starts showing bullishness, then we know things could still favor the bulls. But for this here to play out, we definitely need some momentum coming in, because you can see RSI here in a daily time frame is still flashing weakness, even this stochastic RSI. And also guys, also another big reason why we have to be careful is because if you look at this formation here, S&P 500, and since the crypto market is very much correlated with the traditional market, we also have to monitor this price movement. And according to the S&P 500 here in a weekly time frame, you can see it does looks like breaking out from this rising wedge, and rising wedge is definitely considered as a bearish scenario. So if there is going to be further continuation here like this in S&P 500, then there is very high probability that price of Bitcoin could also be getting gravitated towards the CPR line. Yes, this CPR line between 20,000 to 22,000 before price chooses a trend duration, because you can see RSI in a weekly is now below 50 level for S&P 500. Even the stochastic RSI is flashing a bearish crossover, just like with Bitcoin. You can see whenever we have seen this bearish crossover being flashed in RSI, stochastic RSI, you can see after that the price has shown some weakness. So in our case, if this here is going to be a continuation like this, because the price is losing the support from this rising wedge, then we have to be extremely careful, because not just only this one chart, even there's another broadening wedge, a bullish broadening wedge chart was pointing us maybe in the medium short term there could be a retest around this previous temporary resistance line, because we found out the upper line here was a strong line of resistance. So we could come back to test this resistance, and if the support remains, I mean if price after flipping this previous temporary resistance into support, then after some retracement we are still expecting it to show a movement like this, because we know this line is definitely going to be acting as a strong line of support for S&P 500. But until then we could still see further continuation here like this to the downside, and that will also result in a pullback here like this, and also pull the price of Bitcoin towards this lower line area from this ascending channel, which is going to be around 22,000, and even around the bottom CPI line, which is around 20,200 range. So please be careful. Right now our focus is going to be around this 23,000 range, but losing that means another sell off towards 20,000 to 22,200 range for Bitcoin. So this is what I see right now looking at the price action of Bitcoin. So if you enjoyed my work, then please guys destroy that like button, and for those individuals watching this for the first time, hit the subscribe button and the bell. Now by saying this, I'm signing out. My name is Anup. Bye bye.